we have Larry, who is calling in from Texas. Larry, you're live on Talk Heathen. What's up?
Hello, Dan. Hello, Emma. Emma, I've been a fan of yours since I first caught you on YouTube. I have a comment about the question of the week, which was what you would do if everyone or the true Christians around you were raptured. And my comment would be, well, is there really a God after all? If the rapture happened?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's fair, right? Like you have to wonder if the rapture well, because like that's the thing too, because in the book of Revelation, they do say that like stuff's still gonna happen, right? Like Antichrist is coming, there's still gonna be people on earth, shit's gonna happen. So I don't know. It may still be unclear at that point. We might be the ones to look for a secular explanation before we even figure out if it's a God first, right?
Right, exactly. It was just my thought when I first heard the question of the week. Would you question your own reality and say maybe there is a God? But of course, I'm a dedicated atheist myself, and Dan, I think you may know who I am anyway.
Yeah, I've definitely talked to you before, Larry. But yeah, Emma, what do you think?
Yeah, well, yeah, I suppose at that initial stage, you wouldn't know that it was the rapture. I'd probably look at who had disappeared, and then I don't know. I feel like I'm too sucked into movies and stuff now. I'd be thinking it was some kind of Thanos thing, you know. I don't
Yeah,
know.
there is that.
I don't think the rapture would be my first thought.
I mean, if it is all Christians,
it's interesting as a thought experiment only, because it's something that would never happen, because the rapture is a construct of religion. So anyway,
well, even within that religion, it's for the best part of Christian history, the Revelation has been considered heretical or metaphorical. It was only quite recently that it seems to have become popular as a real, factual foretelling of the end times. So
yeah, this is an interesting note to point out, as you point out here already, Emma, is that Book of Revelation has always been a very controversial book. When Martin Luther created the Protestant Bible, he removed lots of books from the Catholic Bible, right? That's where we get some of those differences. One of the books that was also going to be removed was the Book of Revelation. He did not like the book. He didn't think that it was worth being in there, but it was actually left alone. But this idea that like, oh, there's some books of the Bible that are just like not as good as others, like that seems weird to a lot of Christians today. But like, yeah, like when they used to have these discussions, that was definitely on the chopping block, which I think is fascinating. Because I mean, like nobody even really understands it fully, right? There's so many cultural references in there that we're probably just never gonna really know what the full message is. Yeah. So anyway,
what really confirmed my atheism was actually looking at the origins of the Bible. And there's so much that isn't in the Bible that could have been in the Bible, but it was all cobbled together by vote of whatever the council was that put the Bible together, the Bible in its present form together. It just became totally irrelevant in my mind, and sealed my belief that there is no God, and confirm my atheism.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's a pretty common story with a lot of atheists, right? They actually sit down and read the thing and they're like, wow, this is crazy. And then if you're like me and you're a nerd and you read like biblical commentaries and stuff and you try to read the history of it, it gets even more confusing and more complex. There's a lot of stuff that, one, we simply don't know about the Bible, but two, its interpretation has been so varied and so sort of fluid over time that it almost makes you wonder, why are we even looking at this thing in the first place?
Absolutely,
yeah. Well,
anyway, I thank you very much for taking my call.
Yeah, thank you so much for
Thank you,
calling in,
Larry.
Larry. We appreciate you sharing your perspective on that. Yeah, Book of Revelation, I could talk about that book all day because it's weird and it'll never not be weird. You know what I mean?
It spawned some of the best terrible Christian movies, though.
Oh,
like, really.
I talked about this before, but man, I read the Left Behind books when I was like in elementary school, like 3rd or 4th grade.
Oh, wow.
And that scared the shit out of me because, you know, you see an apocalypse movie and it's like, okay, that's just a movie, but this is supposed to be like legit. You know what I mean? You're supposed to believe that some version of this is going to happen. So, very, very scary stuff. But glad I don't believe it anymore because, man, that gave me a lot of anxiety.